Hello, good day and good morning to everybody. Good evening to the people who are ever it's evenings. Hello. Today we're going to talk about some fertigation, some Endo Cannabinoid System. Oh, Jesus. Some Yeild math, some Q&A, and some stoner entrepreneurships and gifts. Well, the gifts isn't in it because I looked at that. Sorry about that. That shouldn't be there. But oh well. Hello to Vin and Sunshine. Rainbows. AussyCC, you're doing well. I'm all ears, says Vin. And Sunshine wants to open the floodgates. All right. Thanks for your support too, Sunshine. Appreciate it. So I'm going to start sharing my screen so we can get into it. Share screen. Entire screen. And what we're going to do today is this one. Actually, hang on. Still history. There we go. Now I'm going to share screen. Brendan, how you going, buddy? Nice to see you. I'll share screen again and try again, because these are the topics we're going to go through. I've got to press share screen first. You aren't going to see it. All right, entire screen. Trying again. I'm going to go to this one. So I'm going to go through these slides today. So the first one is on the Labor government, on the Sydney Morning Herald, where they were saying, it's just an interesting thing. It's not really cannabis related, but because I'm a greenie, I got to say it, that Queensland's rate of deforestation equals Brazil's at the moment. So they're going to try and improve things. Yeah, good on you, mate. Jesus, I couldn't believe it when I read that. That's really, really horrible. But, oh well. This is good though. Look at this. New places to smoke your medical cannabis. So that's pretty snazzy. Wow, he's got a pretty good view. Don't know how he'd go. He needs a little thing to come into his, like a little vape thing to go into the hood. But yeah, legal places are spreading fast because it's getting legalized everywhere. It's really cool. And this is in the Sydney Morning Herald, newspaper here in Australia, just about the support of Australians have to recreationalise cannabis. That's really good. So I'm really pleased that things are getting put out there and that some action actually might get started someday soon. Yeah, that's today's stuff. I'll sort of go. Fertigation, I'm going to throw a lot of slides later on through my micro irrigation engineering course and my soil fertility and fertilizers course. They go into that. So I've got maybe 20 or 30 slides to show on the fertigation. And yield maths a little bit on it. I'm not going to touch much in that, but it's just something that should be considerate. You should considerate. No, you know what I'm saying, in your your stuff. Wow, check out this side. Imagine living here. Yeah, we eat next three exits. That was just cool. I thought, wow, that's some positive signage. And legalization. Singapore, believe it or not, they are so hardcore against anything, but they are thinking of legalizing it. So bloody good work, Singapore. And this is for the Australian government. Here's a folks in Australia, here's a bill that just got passed in Parliament that says that under the new COVID laws, that officers don't need any type of warrants to enter your vehicle or place. So if you want to go and use COVID-19 as an excuse to think they're not going to come in, well, it's the opposite. The bill's been passed and it gives them even more laws. Yes, scary. Oh, I should be reading chat. Actually, I'm going to read chat, see if there's anything. No, not really. That's cool. There's an article that says that about Thailand is going to seem to be growing to 1.2 billion within 3 years because of their legalization. Good on them. Profit for everybody and better health for everybody. Come on, Australian government, Jesus. And this is pretty interesting because I lived in Canada for 5 years, and Ontario, they reckon, has the majority of the recreational sales. Oh, that's probably because, I'm not going to say that. I lived in BC for 3 years and in the Yukon for 2. Anyway, I'm a bit off track because I don't want to go into the stuff. But yeah, that's interesting. Oh. And Colombia has taken its first steps towards legalization. And there was a chart that I showed a few weeks ago on the medical cannabis in Colombia and how 18% of their exports goes to Australia. So because of our shit laws, we got to import our cannabis. So we haven't got blokes like myself can't get a start and can't do it, and other people can't do it. It's just left to the big people with the money, and we're going to import it. Yeah, Australian government. This is rad. This is the Endo Cannabinoid System, the microbiota partnership with the gut-brain axis for the homeostasis in the body. It's related to autism spectrum disorder. So it's on the left here in A, it's got your gut integrity, and if you put Lactobacillus acidophilus, which is in heaps of yogurt, apparently it reacts with your CB2 receptor, which is something that the THC molecule activates. It activates some other ones, and that forms some bacteroids, which is a stable environment for your microbes in your guts, and it helps. But over here on B, if you've got the CB1 isn't working properly, the receptor, it down-regulates and causes problems in your guts where the bacteroids are more outweigh the firmicutes, which is the bacteria, which is really healthy. And your Clostridia desulfuribrio builds up, giving you your problems. If anybody knows of anybody who wants to do a fecal, I'm interested in fecal transplants because it's all to do with the guts, as this proves. Nobody's really doing it. It's new science, but it's something that I'm heavily interested in, and my microbiology studies just leads me towards that is the truth. Like obesity comes from the guts, microbes. Anyway, so if you know of anybody, please hook them up with me, and I'll be very happy to go into business with them and do something like that. This is I've got the support thing, so $5 if you want to support. Thank you if you do that. $80 if you pay. This is for my YouTube subscription if you want to sign up, and it gets you my list of private lectures. There's about a dozen of them that I haven't included, the latest ones, and 150 if you want to subscribe. Gets you a 20-minute video call and a gift like a chart that I made up. Or if you're legal, you could probably send something, a seed if you're legal. So I only support legal activities and legal stuff, so I can't get myself in trouble. Or $300 for a weekly video call, for instance, if a company or setting up, or if someone's going to the doctors and needs legal help, as an example. All right, into the cannabis entrepreneurships. So these are the legal jobs that people should be thinking about getting into, because you've all got really good experience where people can't buy experience. So most of the people listening, they would have just experience. So they're already ahead of the game. So you just need a little bit of knowledge put together, and bang, you've got a pretty good career, legal career, mind you. So this is birthday cakes. Look at that, with some nice nugs on the top. Here's infused drinks that they've gone and made, so you can go and make various amounts of different infused drinks. Oh, sorry, this is another legal thing. The US trade courts has passed a bill that you can import paraphernalia now into the States. So that's good. Nothing should be kept at customs anymore because it's all passed. Back to the stoner entrepreneurships. Weddings. Look at that. Can of weddings. Everyone wants them, but there's none out there. Well. What's this one? Hemp Or you can have hemp spread. Put some CBD into your lovely looking Vegemite or Nutella. And, yum. What's this one for? Brand new cannabis infused maple sugar to hit the market. Wow. So they've got some mixed, like an RSO with the CBD and THC. Oh, look at the CBD is 5 times higher than the THC. That's pretty cool. Wow. So they'd be very, very beneficial. This one's 10 milligrams of THC only. Wow. So they've got a nice different infusion range. Good on them. And this is artwork. Can art. So if you are into your artwork, look at this. Brilliant. I really like that. Nefertiti. Looks good. And some more drink stuff. So this is, look at this. People are selling water. So they've gone and infused water with some terpenes. Then you can get those isolate terpene flavonoids. They're just the actual, the smell, the taste of it that people put for cooking. And you put it with bloody water. And they've carbonated it, and there you go. They've created a business. Here's some things where they've made some stick packs, those roll things that get extruded out of some machines. They've gone and infused them. Various different range of trail mix apple things that you can have. I don't know what this bit is here. Looks a bit dodgy, but anyway, good potential. That's all I'm showing this is for, is potential for you stoners to create jobs out of your thing that you get most joy out of, or it brings you relief. This is a cup. I thought just put it on for, you can put stuff on the cups and sell cups, artwork, like that type of thing that isn't really around much that people would want for their stoner Christmas. The things are becoming legal worldwide. These types of things are going to be more wanted. Look at this one, sour gummies, just yum. And this is that's a high one, 300. I don't advise anybody taking high stuff. If you're taking infused stuff for the first time, take 10 milligrams. Some people's body genetic makeups reacts off low amounts and some are high. Like my friend did a study with his relatives, and he found that his elderly folks, they were taking 10 and 15 milligrams of infused things, and that was enough for them. They'd start and get a bit of a feeling of the infused stuff. So it's just a component of the cannabinoids, but it's good to consider. Sorry, I'll get back and read chat. Shit. Jesus. Sorry, chat. Skim through. Brendan, g'day, Mick S. Thailand's needed more hits, yes. Family Falcon, how you going, mate? And Jeff Propalia, Aussie Autos. Aussie Autos. Hey, Aussie Autos, I have to speak to you. Can you, put a link out. Can you put a link? I'll put a link out, sorry. And can you hit that for the end, mate? And we can have a chat, please. And Sunshine, how you feeling? Aussie Autos. Yeah, a lot better. That's good. All right, back to this. Sunscreen. How cool is this? They're putting hemp oil into sunscreen. Just another thing. $3, yeah, as if. It was $10. Wow, that's a bargain. People don't realize the benefits that are in it. That'd be so cool because you can nearly sit in the sun because the CBD has an anti-inflammatory properties in it. It activates your TPRV1 and your TPRV2 genes and your and so it reduces your inflammatory. So if you're going to sit in the sun, it might actually be a benefit. Here's another. This is an non-alcoholic, infused drink. What was that about terpenes? Terpenes provided by somebody. Very good. So that's just a terp tonic. So again, all they've done is just put so they've got that isolate, and anyway, good on them. Good on them. Cannabis beverages. This is the sales shares over the last few years in the States. So it's interesting. The cannabis beverages category has drawn attention of investors, consumers, and industries. So it's wondered why the sales have gone high in different states, like here's Washington, CAN. Where's that state? It must be Canada. I don't know. Anyway, Oregon, California, Massachusetts, Colorado, Nevada, and Michigan. All right, we're into the yield math. We should go back. Any questions or anything like that? No, everything's good. Yield math. So crop yield, it is an economic part of the plant used for human or animal consumption and measured as grain or dry matter quality per unit land area. We measure it more so, we're cannabis, we're cannabinoid and trichome farmers, so we more so measure it in our buds. But for here, this is how they get to the end result. Yield potential of a genotype can be expressed through the following physiological model. YR equals C times DR times P, where C is the mean growth rate, DR is the duration of the crop, like your veg time, and P is the mean fraction of C partition towards the reproductive organs, so your genetics. And if you want to clone, the pre-cloning pruning. Okay, so if you want to do a clone, they reckon you take it from this line here, and that's accurate because it backs up with this, genetic mosaicism hypothesis. That's the paper written about a test done on cloning mother plants in different areas of the plant, and this is the actual conclusion, is where the pink line is the best place to take it if you don't want epigenetics to factor into your genetic line. Because if you take it from the top, I think it's a 40% epigenetic swing has been shown. Removal. Yeah, just remove all the dark ones that aren't doing anything. You know, leaves only last about 50 days. They have an age to them. So yeah, you can extend them by doing, you can rub some cytokinins on them, or you can extend their life, like we can do it with our cells. But generally, their general life's sort of 45, 50 days. This is from my post-harvest productions course, and it's just wrapped up. Geez, it was brilliant. But I've always wondered about the respiration of cells after harvest, and this shows you guys it. So biological products generate heat even when they are stored in cold atmospheres due to the heat of the respiration by living tissue and the heat of reaction of the chemical compounds of the food materials. So this apple is a bud, and I've done some tests as well, and it respires for 3 to 5 days at least afterwards. So you'll see an ethylene spike and you'll see a CO2 spike, and they are responsible for the respiration of the cells that are inside the plant after it's been cut. So that's pretty cool. Back to chat. Why wasn't chat moving? I've got it on my tablet and it's not moving. All right, I'm going to have to stop sharing this to see if I've missed anything. How you feeling? No, it doesn't look like I've missed anything. That's good. All right, back to it. I'll put the link in for Aussie Autos. Copy. And for Dr. Nexus, if you're around, mate. Or anybody afterwards if you want. But more so, it's got to be kept professional if you want to be on the air. Hope you're feeling better too, Dr. Nexus. All right, back to sharing. Present. Share screen. And now we're going to get into fertigation. First one was this one. So fertilization versus fertigation. What's the difference? Well, fertilization, the plants get any dosage of fertilizer, bottom left, than required at the time. They get any dose of fertilizer, and they can be given at any time. Where fertigation, fertilizers are applied accordingly to the needs for nutrients following the uptake rate of the crop. So it's precision agriculture, really dialing it in. All right, why fertigation? What happens if fertilizer applied separately from water? You got a lot of losses. when pressurized irrigation systems, in drip irrigation, I'm going to skim through this. It shows you that, actually, I'm going to come back to this. We're going to go through first, because this goes heavily into drip. I'm going to go into this one, soil science, soil fertility. Fertigation is a way for sustainable nutrients, water and crop management. Fertigation is a technique in agricultural management that supplies dissolved fertilizers to a crop through an irrigation system. Soluble fertilizers is what you want. Insoluble, or ones that aren't compatible, you've got cloggage problems and the system fails. That's one of the key things to this fertigation. And it'll go through that later on, tell you which ones are compatible and which ones aren't. Fertigation efficiencies can be controlled very accurately and by different systems that you can do it with. It was first introduced in 1958 in the USA. So why is it necessary? The incestant population per capita, it just helps. It helps a lot. The consumption of fertilizers, namely urea, diammonium phosphate, variable potash, NPK complexes, and single superphosphate increased from 1992. And now they're just realizing it's polluting the ground, and it's something that has to be done by it, because things aren't sustainable, and areas of soil infertility are huge. So to bring the fertility back, things are going to be regulated a lot better. Maximize profit. So this isn't just for outdoors, this is for indoors too, because if you've got excess runoff, where are you tipping that? Yeah, you're tipping that out, and it's probably going down the drain into the wastewater sewage place, into the streams. So this is all conserved for indoors and outdoor growers. The types of fertigation: surface, furrow. Surface is run along the surface, furrow is like a channel, and micro is done through sprinklers or drips. The result, drips, is better, because sprinklers, you get too much evaporation. I'm not going to go over this. Micros, drippers, sprinklers, and foggers. And then they're going to go and tell you what they're about. So I'm not going to really go into that, because I hope you'd already know. Or if you don't, you can ask questions. Equipment that you need for them. All right, this is a few things. Venturi, drips, sprinklers are good, yes. Crop suitable. Sources of fertilizer. So this is the most suitable fertilizers that are soluble and used for fertigation. So for your nitrogen, you'd use your ammonium nitrate, and sulfate and urea, and phosphorus are these ones, and potassiums are these ones. So they are very water soluble ones. And if it's not soluble, you're going to get clog action. The major factors are plant type, soil conditions, water quality, and fertilizer composition and price is the factors of selecting your fertilizer. This is the different ratings that you get, the NPK readings of them all. They're quite high, some of them, so you'd use them in different applications and areas. And then you've got to go with your solubility, which is the key thing. So you can add a lot of the first one there, the AN, and it'll be soluble, and the ammonium sulfate isn't as such. That's an example. This chart was written in 2017. This is a compatibility factor, so you can see what's compatible and it's not. I'm going to say the not compatible ones, they're pretty much the ones with the calcium in it. This is the actual names of them. Well, it's just pretty much, I'm going to go to the actual where the breakdown of it is. It's the calcium ones. Comparative fertilizers and the use efficiencies. It's all to do about your fertilizer use efficiency these days, and you want it to be very, very efficient. And that means that you're getting no runoff, no waste, and everything's getting maximized in the crop and around the soil. Because you want to sustain your rhizosphere and the soil or substrate so it can be utilized down the track. It can just be enhanced and reused, and it's just going to get better. Increase your microbes, everything will be stable. Yield increases under different fertigation, so you can see they're all increased on different crops. Dynamics. This is just some tests that have been done on it to prove if it's good or not, and it did prove that the fertilizer use efficiency increased a lot. Therefore, there was a higher saving and a higher yield. So it's a good technique to get into, because the effects of fertigation on the nitric oxide and the nitrate leaching from greenhouse studies on tomatoes, so it's quite high. If you're just opening with, because they're volatile to the air, they'll change back into their form, into dinitrogen, and go back to the air. Look at my teacher, he's got a nose problem, poor bloke. I just put it in as funny. The benefits of fertigation, my voice is going. I'll go back to chat. G'day Lene, how's it going? Cheers. Hello CSL, good morning. Aussie Autos, I'm on my way out the door, mate. I'll be home around lunchtime. Righto. I don't know how to get the link to you or anything though, mate, that's the problem. Benefits of it, its fertilizers are applied throughout the irrigation, but nutrients can be applied when they want. I've sort of said the benefits. The disadvantages is high cost in setting up, yes. You have to get your irrigation right, set up, otherwise you'll have problems. If you're not using the compatible components, you'll have cloggage, like cloggage lines due to precipitation of bicarbonates and insoluble dicalcium phosphates and magnesiums. So the calcium and mag, which, as you know, medical cannabis needs a lot of, they precipitate and clog when added together. It's more so the calcium. Salt injury can be caused, yes. Technical skill and expertise is needed. It's less popular. It's high cost. But it's an end result is what we're looking for, to save the planet and save the fertilizer usage efficiency, and save the costs for the grower. Summary, fertigation helps in proper utilization of water and fertilizers over conventional methods, hence increases productivity of the crops. Fertigation applied through micro irrigation systems is undoubtedly one of the most effective strategies to improve your use efficiency. Now, that's it. Good. I'm going to go back to the other slides, this one, and we're going to go to, you can see the difference from drip irrigation to other irrigation methods. Look at the lateral branching here. There's no lateral branches in the other one because they're trying to search out, and their primary roots is going to expand out to reach water. This is already sufficed with water, so it just lateral roots out, therefore it can be surrounded by it. And that comes back to your water potential and your osmotic flow in your plant. So if you've always got your water here, that means it's going to flow good, cycling nutrients out. If it's dry here, you're not going to get the osmotic flow in the plant. That's when it wilts. So it's I'm looking into drip irrigation personally too. Have I ever done it? No, I've done aeroponics. I haven't done drip irrigation, but that's something that interests me because of the science. It all speaks to the right areas. Limited root zone with drip irrigation systems. Yes, you limit your root zone because of the drips can only go so far because of the cohesion tension theory of water. When it touches itself, it will go. It can travel upwards even. So you've got a water patterns, wetting patterns. It's called these things. So you really ideally you want it like this, sandy loam where it's just perfect. Clay, it's just going to pool on the top and evaporate topwards. Sand, it's going to go too far downwards. So you want it to be maintained around the rhizosphere, which is your roots. Anything else in there? Oh no, that's radox. That's another different pattern shown from placements of the drip irrigations, how the roots will go towards it. Back to where we were. Advantages and disadvantages. Advantages, it's reduced energy. I've sort of already gone through that. I'm not going to read it actually, my voice hurts. Fertilizer characteristics. Oh Jesus. This goes into a bit of the soluble amounts, different rates of fertilizer that you have that are used for these types of irrigation systems. I'm not going to go through them, you can see them there. I'm nearly at the end. Here you go. This is the compatibility chart I wanted to talk about before. So the calcium nitrate, low compatibility, no compatibility with your with your MAPS, your monoammonium phosphate, and your monopotassium phosphate. And here calcium nitrate is not compatible with the same as well. So it's your calcium. This doesn't have your magnesium in it. but your calcium and magnesium, they're the ones that cause problems. These are different types of fertilizers across the top, and your solubility effects and your corrosion effects upon the bottom. Good corrosion is from your potassium nitrate. And yeah, all right, that's it, I think. This goes heavily into the deep. This is my micro irrigation engineering course. It just goes heavily into it. I don't think there's anything else in here. Efficiency, how to work it. No, this is too technical. I think that's it, guys and gals. Should I? Is that it? All right, back to it. All right. And here's a thing I thought I'd put in for training. If you guys are interested in getting some training, if you're a pretty newbie or relatively newbie to the industry, this is a good start. It's the cannabis training. I'm not sponsored or anything by them, but I just did the course a couple of years ago. Cannabis Training University, and they got 8 different programs that you do. It's all online, video lectures, and you answer the questions. And then it's a very cheap course too. It's only a couple of $100, and it gives you some information. And if you haven't got that much of a background in it, it's probably very, very helpful for you. This course taught me about maximizing yield and Bokashi. I was unaware about those, well, unaware of Bokashi before, so that was really cool. So I did learn something from it. Yes, Brendan and Lene. Oh, PTP, here you go, mate. Yeah, so that's right at the end. It's wrapping up again, PTP. Any questions, any guys or girls, because it's going to be finishing in a couple of minutes. I've covered the fertigation, the Endo Cannabinoid System, the Yeild math, and some stone entrepreneurships. So I hope it's all good. All right, I'll put the link down just in case Aussie Autos has just had some change of thing, because I don't have anything to really talk about. I think I've answered everything I've gone through today, so I can tell you about next week's. All right, I'll tell you about next week's. Where is it? Back. Next week's, I'm talking on integrated nutrient management and fungal infections and fungal diseases. That's the 2 things that are in my high lease counter or in that section at the moment. And I'm open to, if anybody's got any suggestions on topics they'd like me to discuss in the show, please put them in the community section. There's a community section on my YouTube page that you can go there and interact. So I'm really open to helping people. So I'd like to, help you guys. So if you guys have got things are on your mind, or you want some clarification on this or that, let me know, and I'll put together some stuff so we can talk about it. All right, Fuse people, look at that. I'm going to go and here you go. How do I put add moderator? PTP, Mick S, add moderator. Because of this person, Brendan, moderator, Lene, moderator. There you go. So these guys can help me out with this Tinder person. Thank you. I appreciate Tinder person for listening, because you had to put it there for listening. But thanks for the support, because every time you put stuff in the chat, it's always support. So good stuff. And I put a chart. I put a poll in the comments in the section. Does consuming cannabis help to improve your life? 90%. There's 21 votes. 90% of people say yes. Looks like someone said no, and then there was a third one where one person looks like they said no, only when they don't have it. So there's one person out of 21 votes says it does not improve their quality of life. Wowee. That's spammer, because they don't consume it. But there was something else I want to show you on education, I think, today too. That's right. It was something there. It was too. It was to do with the UK government. Why didn't that come up? I couldn't believe it. It's just, actually, it's education needed. Oh, it's this one. Okay, this is for a future show, but I'm still going to show it today because I was just bloody amazed that this is just backs up about why we need our education, because stuff like this is getting spread around, and you've got the old people, the uneducated folk who don't know jack, and they're just going, okay, we'll believe this person. The UK Police Commissioner, so the head of police, says cannabis is as dangerous as heroin and crack cocaine. So you've got the old people that are going, oh, we should believe this person. He's ahead of everything. He knows stuff. Well, look at the education he's spreading. This fuckwit is uneducated and spreading absolutely mistruths about this very medicinal and very multi-spectrum drug that we're into. So yeah, this is the reason, half the reason why I do this show is because of this, because so much shit gets put out there, mate, that we need proper education so people just, they can make their own decisions. They don't need biased wankers like this going, oh, I believe it's this, so I'm going to spread the fake truths. Well, yeah, we need us people to stand up and just tell him it's fake. Stop it, get some education, and try and help your family members. So, yeah, I had to add that bit. Sorry about that. Oh, got a guest, Sunshine. I'll put you up. Hello. G'day, Sunshine. So what else is there? He looks like yes, Sunshine agrees. He's not a very good person. Yes, people, yeah, from people who have experienced, that's just wrong. It's just bloody wrong. I've experienced all those types of things that he's talking about, and he's fair him so wrong. Oh, well. Momenix, how you going, mate? Momenic Meds. All right, just about out. Oh, yeah, Aussie Grow Shows. How you going, mate? Thanks for the support too, Aussie Grow Shows. He does a show soon in about an hour. I'll be attending. PTP also does a show. Who else is in here that does shows? Sorry, that's all I can see. Go and scroll up to the top. Vinny, no. Sunshine, no. All right, that's it. You got anything to say, Sunshine, because your mic's not working? No, that's cool. He's just there for fun. We'll go back. All right, thanks everybody for Aussie Grow Show said his show is in 30 minutes now. Mate, you got to get regular with that. Sorry, but yeah, it puts me off a lot of times. Sometimes it's on at this time and that time. It's hard for me, but regular is very good. Anyway, good on you for putting your show on and supporting the cannabis community. So thanks everybody for turning up. Blinky, how you going? I got a neighbour who thinks weed is like heroin. There you go. He's retarded, watching Channel 7 every night. See, that's the thing. How can we get these people proper education? They're not interested. They're only interested in the news, and the news is publishing fake news at the moment. As I just put up, I don't really know how to achieve it. All I can think is when legislation changes that they'll allow education, because all the stuff that I do, most of it gets it doesn't allow for monetization because of the laws. And I don't even, I don't even mention the word cannabis without putting medical cannabis in front of it. I'm so anal about that. So it just goes to show that things will change, hopefully, when they're allowed to. But at the moment, there's so much red tape and stigma and things across stuff that the good word doesn't get out. Thank you, everybody, for trying and showing up. Getting the hairdryer out, PTP. Oh, yeah. Mix, thanks, CC. See ya, everyone, at AGS. All right, good stuff. I'm going to end it here. Thanks, everybody, for turning up. I appreciate it. Wouldn't be a show without you guys. So good on you for interacting. Thanks again. And I'll hope to see you next Saturday for my show to talk about those things that I discussed. And thanks again. All right. Happy breeding, happy growing, and good health to you. Bye-bye.